Hello, everyone, and welcome back to what should be the final episode of this whole ordeal of me not understanding how my microphone works and how the recording button works. But long story short, what you see on your screen here is a team from Michael Zhang. I'm pretty sure it's Michael Zhang from the Sacramento Regionals this year that was held at or in October. And he went and won, and this is the team I wanted to just try out, just to kind of try something new. So we have Arcanine rocking the Water Tera, get rid of its Water type weakness, Ground type weakness. Rocking Rock Slide, Howl, Will-O-Wisp, Flare Blitz, Intimidate, and Citrus Berry. Next up is Iron Bundle with its Quirk Drive and Booster Energy. It is, I believe, max speed, so when that comes in, it's going to boost its own speed. Rocking Protect, Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, Icy Wind. We have Como with Bulletproof, Leftovers, rocking the Steel type Tera to get rid of its Fairy type weakness. With Protect, Iron Defense, Iron Head, Body Press. I want to get its defense up just so Body Press does more. Next, we have Flutter Mane with Choice Specs, and then it's going to be doing Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Moonblast, Psyshock, Rillaboom with Grassy Surge, Miracle Seed with Woodhammer, Grassy Glide, Fake Out, and Taunt. Last but not least is Tyranitar, rocking Sandstream, and Assault Vest with the Psychic type Tera with Rock Slide, Tera Blast, Knockoff, and Low Kick. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in that first game. And we're back to the first game of this video against Dre, rocking a team that I was actually kind of really excited to see, because I don't believe I've actually gone against any of these Pokemon in this entirety of like this series that I've been doing. I haven't seen any of these 6, because it's always just been straight meta Pokemon or just some variation of. But yeah, he is rocking the Magcargo, the Hatterene, the Ariados, the Dreadnought, the Carbink, and I forget what it's not Applin, but it's evolved form, and I can't think of it at the moment. But essentially what I was trying to see here is that what I should bring against all of it, because it's an all-around team, but it does have a weakness of itself, which is Rock. As you can see, I am going to pick Flutter Mane first, because Flutter Mane is always a good starting Pokemon just to have. It'll have Choice Specs, which boosts its special attack, and it's one of the hardest hitting special attackers just without an item, so having something that boosts it won't be too bad. And so what you're going to see here is me kind of fiddling around with the team and trying to understand it, because as someone who saw it versus someone who plays a team that you haven't had, it's kind of different. It's kind of like watching a sport and then trying to replicate what you saw or do what you did, which works out for some, but I am not those people. So what you see here is I'm going to set up the Grassy Surge right away, which Grassy Surge gives you a little bit of HP. It's like its own affected. It's like a weaker version of Leftovers for everyone on the battlefield. It gives a little bit of health to everyone. But right away, I went for Grassy Glide on the Dreadnought, just so I can get the Dreadnought out of the way, just in case if it wanted to Shell Smash White Herb. But as I saw here, it actually had I believe it was a Grass-type berry. The berry he ate was something that was supposed to weaken Grass-type moves. But even still, he's Water Rock. He's 4 times weak to a Grass-type move. So with that being said, I was like, wow, that surprisingly did a lot for Flutter Mane's Dazzling Gleam. Because usually Carbink is a very bulky Pokemon, and it's used for setting up Light Screen and Reflect to lessen moves from physical and special attackers. So I was surprised that's not what this person was going for here. Overall, it was very unexpected for them not to do that, to kind of like stop the Flutter Mane from just kind of like running over this team. But yeah, here's when the Magcargo comes out, and I knew right away that it's faster than me, and I didn't want it to hit me with anything that was going to get rid of the Rillaboom. So I switched out to Hisuian Arcanine just to kind of resist it 4 times. So the next move it was going to use is essentially not going to do anything at all, because I have so much built-in resistance to a fire-type move. So overall, it was my best bet to just switch out, take less damage, even if it wasn't going for me, just in case, because Rillaboom is really nice to have in the back. And then also kind of resets the Grassy Surge if it goes away. But yeah, the Intimidate was going off too, just in case if it was a physical type Magcargo, which I don't think I've ever seen that. But as you can see here, he's going to set up the Stealth Rocks, hoping to get the hazards going. And, you know, not a bad play on his part, because he knows that Carbink, I don't know if his Carbink was built to be a supporter. I think it was just built as like a setup mon, but not a supporting setup mon, not one that like boosts your attack or boosts anything. It kind of just flips dimensions or does Trick Room, so the slowest Pokemon move first. Appletun is its name. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. But yeah, then the Appletun was a surprising thing to come out, knowing that I have a Flutter Mane. But I was like, maybe he has like a Steel type move or a Poison type move that he's rocking on that to do maximum damage to my Flutter Mane. But yeah, Body Press was a move I didn't know I got, and that took me by surprise. As you saw, it did a critical hit, and it did quite a bit of damage on me. But yeah, that's when it's going to pop my Citrus Berry, get me back up to a nice chunky like health range. And then this Rock Slide did a nice number, did a nice little. And then I think this is a double KO, yep, from Flutter Mane. So yeah, overall, this first game was very fun. And I liked the team, and I was kind of seeing what I was trying to go for. And kind of sad I didn't really do much besides Trick Room. But yeah, overall, very fun first game, and I'll catch you guys in that second one. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second game, or the second out of 3 battles. And our opponent here is, I think it's Obinik. Obinik is the name, and they're rocking a Toxapex, a Flutter Mane, Mousehold. I'm pretty sure that was a competitive Empoleon, which it's a new ability. It used to have Defiant, which, if you guys didn't know, is essentially Defiant is whenever you lower its stat, its attack stat goes up. Whereas with competitive, it's the special attack version of it. So whenever you lower any of its moves or any of its stats, its special attack will go up by 2, just like how Defiant is. If you lower any of its stats, its attack goes up by 2. So as that. And then it had Pachirisu and Gastrodon. Pachirisu, I'm assuming, is a supporter type Pokemon, which has something, I don't know what it would be rocking DGC wise. Like, I don't know what he would bring a Pachirisu for, or they would bring a Pachirisu for. Gastrodon, I know would have Storm Drain, so if they use moves like Surf, it would absorb it for the like health if I did any damage to it. But yeah, so what I'm going to do here is I'm definitely bringing a Rillaboom just because it's going to have the most hitting power on this team, because I felt like the Empoleon was coming specifically because I had a Hisuian Arcanine, which is weak to water. Even still, I feel like they were trying to go for that Intimidate read. So if I came out with Arcanine, it would lower Empoleon's defense, or would lower its attack stage by 1, which, as you see here, he led with. And then it would boost its special attack by 2. But as you see here, I led with Iron Bundle and Rillaboom because I feel like Iron Bundle, just using Icy Wind, would just be very, very good here. And just slowing down my opponent's Pokemons and Pokemons? Yeah, Pokemon. Pokemon is the plural of Pokemon. It's kind of like, what is it? Moose and Moose, you know? Anyways, besides me getting sidetracked, what I was going to go for here is just essentially lower the speed and then just hit as hard as I possibly could with Rillaboom. And I believe it was on the Gastrodon, just because I know Gastrodon can be very stall, which is essentially setting up its defenses, or like just making itself very hard to KO because of its high defense and special defense, and then having a Citrus Berry or some kind of recover move like Recover. And as you saw here, you know, I just did, I think it was Freeze Dry, which is a super effective move on a water type, because essentially what it does is it's the only ice type move that is effective on water types, because the way it's supposed to like work in like the way it's described is it's physically freezing the water. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then he's going to send out the Mousehold, which I didn't really know what they were going for here besides Population Bomb, which is a move that can hit anywhere from 1 to 10 times, and I don't know what it was rocking as an item. So I assumed it must have been loaded dice, because I'm like, that's kind of an interesting thing to go with, because, you know, you want it to hit as as much as possible. And to this day, I still don't know what they were rocking. And it'll later surprise me like how much damage it actually does, because it's wild, and it's a really good Pokemon, and I kind of want to make a Mousehold team, or kind of use a Mousehold team. So as always, if anyone has gotten this far in the video, if you have Pokemon Scarlet or Violet and you actually run a Mousehold team or know of a Mousehold team, please let me know in the comments, and I will do a video on it, just so I can kind of see what it's like to be the one that like has that power in my hands, you know. But yeah, as you saw there, I did Wood Hammer on Empoleon just to get rid of it, just in case if it had an Ice type move for Rillaboom, or if it was gonna switch out or do something to like set up. It even has Roost, I believe, too, which would give it more HP. And so they're gonna send out the Flutter Mane here. And then I believe I guessed this Terastallization correct. It was gonna be on the. Oh no, I didn't. I think I said it's gonna be Flutter Mane, and I was surprised that it was Maushold. Then I think this is where I kind of got it, like it clicked in my head. As you can see, I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure it clicked right there. I'm like, oh, wait, Population Bomb is going to hit pretty hard. And then, yep, there's that Mystic Fire, which Rillaboom is a lot bulkier than I gave him credit for. And then here comes the first one. I forgot it's a multi-hitting attack. And as you see, I believe my Iron Bundle goes down here. It's a hard-hitting move for such a small, adorable Pokemon. But like I like to say, the more adorable the Pokemon, the scarier it is usually. And then here again is a Focus Sashed Flutter Mane, which was surprising to me because usually people like to run the Choice Specs, which, you know, boosts special attack, and it's probably the best special attacker in the game. So I was surprised it wasn't running that. Or Booster Drive, which is an item that if you have Quirk Drive, or Booster Capsule, which if you have Flutter Mane, it has a move called Photosynthesis, which when it enters the battlefield, it automatically uses the Booster Capsule, and it boosts its highest attack. Or not attack, but boosts its highest stat. So in their case, it's either speed or special attack. So yeah, it was very surprising here. And then I go into Como and T-Tar and go into that Psychic type Terra, just to get rid of, just in case if the Flutter Mane is faster than me, because I'm not trying to get hit with a Moonblast and get one hit KO'd. So going into the Psychic type Terra was like my best bet to just overall clear myself of all of like the Fairy type moves. And I'm gonna protect here just because I know the Flutter Mane's gonna probably target me and do something. But yeah, right there, even as a Psychic type, you can see I was at full health. That did a huge chunk of damage on me, but I'm still in the green. And then going for a Rock Slide here, I was surprised that I missed the Maushold, but I did get the Flutter Mane down, which means the special attack isn't really going to be doing much to me here. And I do believe they have one more Pokemon who I, for some reason, just can't remember who. Nope, I already knocked out all three at this point. So yeah, it's just Maushold. And I'm going to learn very, very fast here that even a move that is resisted. So Como is a Dragon Fighting type. Fighting resists normal types, if I am not mistaken. Do not quote me. As we saw through the past episodes of the series, my knowledge of Pokemon is like a 75. It's like a C+ at best. Like Pokemon wise, like knowing the Pokemon, I give myself like a B+ and A- because I don't know all their names. But when it comes to like Pokemon moves and like statistics and like resistances and stuff, I'm like hit or miss. So I'm like a C+, B-. But yeah, this is what I thought was ridiculous, is full health. Oh no, not full health. It was slightly like less health. I think it was like 15 damage off because of Sandstorm. But the fact that it one hit KO'd me, or not one hit KO'd me, but one move KO'd me, was so surprising to me. And then right here, you're going to see me use the Terra Blast, which it's a move that turns into the typing you are, which as you can see by the big giant eye on top of Tyranitar's head, I'm a Psychic type. And I was like, well, this is GG's. It's faster than me. There's nothing I can do to hurt it or hit it. And the grassy terrain's going away, so even if I do survive, I'm not going to do anything correct or like do anything to like, you know, really do damage here. So I just accepted it and wanted to play it through, but this is what actually surprised me right here. The move only hit once, and I was losing, like, I was just so excited about that. I don't show it very well right there because I'm trying to keep my composure, but I was so dumbfounded because it only hit me once. The probability of it hitting you once is, I think, it's higher than hitting 10 times, but it's still not as, like, prominent or probable as hitting twice or 3 times or 4 times. But overall, very fun game, and I'll catch you in the next one. And we're back with that third battle here with Tyler as our opponent, rocking the Landorus. I forget what its like that form is called. I always forget the names of those. But then we have an Ogerpon rocking the Water Mask. Still don't know the names of it. Still don't know the DLC. I'll get it eventually. Don't yell at me. Third, we have the Weezing with Neutralizing Gas, which I'm assuming they're going to go out and kind of just like get rid of all of the abilities on the field because, you know, Pokemon without abilities make it not as strong as it could be. Iron Hands, the Roaring Moon, and lastly, we have a Fluttermane. And I make a comment here that the bottom three are nothing but like legendaries. I don't know. I still don't know if like they're classified as legendaries. I think they are. I might be wrong. I just know they're just really strong Pokemon. I don't know why in my head they're classified as legendaries. Probably because they're different typings and they're really strong overall. But what I went for here is I noticed that his team is weak to a Fluttermane because he's rocking the Roaring Moon, which is 4 times weak to a Fairy type move. He has the Iron Hands, which is 2 times effective towards a Fairy type move. So I'm like, well, that's already a third of your team that's weak to 1, so I might as well bring it, right? And as you see here, he actually does bring the Iron Hands. And the attack's going to go down here because Landorus comes in and uses Intimidate, which Rillaboom's not going to hit as hard as I want him to. But the other thing, too, here is I believe I thought the Lando was coming in. And so I was like, okay, so I have an Ice-type move that'll be really good effective against it. And the first thing I do here is I Terrastalize into Ghost-type just because that Iron Hands is going to want to fake out. And a normal-type move is not effective towards the Ghost-type. It can't even affect it at all. So a Ghost is Ghost types and Pokemon are immune to normal type moves. So I was like, okay, if I do that, I get a guaranteed Icy Wind off. So let me just Terrastalize real quick. And my whole game plan here is to essentially get rid of things that can hurt Iron Bundle, which, as you see here, it gets rid of its fighting type weakness, which is going to be the Iron Hands there. So I just kind of essentially want to set up here. So Grassy Glide, as you see, it's not going to do as much as I want it to because it was intimidated, which means it's at -1 attack. Icy Wind's going to knock out the Lando here, and I feel a lot better knowing that the Iron Hands is going to be the slowest thing on the field, even though it already was, but just to know that it's even slower, just in case if I brought something else that might be slower than it. But overall, the rest of this battle is essentially just me kind of trying to like figure out how to really put the pressure on my team, on my opponent's team. And the Ogerpon here comes out, and little does he know that I'm rocking Freeze Dry because I always forget that this thing has Freeze Dry whenever I have a ground type, and I have a Terra type that's like immune or does really well against its ice type moves. For example, my Palossand, Sandy Ash, is a ghost ground type that I have water type Terra on, and I forget it has Freeze Dry. So as we see there, it's 4 times effective because it's also weak against grass and water, like I said before in the previous battle. But then I do a Wood Hammer here, which I do believe that would have knocked him out if I wasn't -1 attack. He then goes for the Wild Charge. As we see, it does a nice chunk of damage here. And my guess here was I was trying to figure out who he would like go into, and I didn't really think he would bring the Roaring Moon as we see here. I thought it was going to be at least Fluttermane. But overall, what happens next is, as you can see, it's a very short battle. If you're looking at the timeline on YouTube for a good reason, is because, you know, pick all my moves. I get set in because I know this Roaring Moon's about to go down to an Ice-type move. Iron Hands is going to go out to an Ice-type move. And as you saw, I almost misclicked and did Fake Out. And I get really excited here because it's the first time I've had a Pokemon like battle canceled that's on screen that I believe. But yeah, overall, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.